Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before. Imagine tuning into real-time discussions, expert analyses, and fan interactions all at your fingertips. Each platform offers a unique experience, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We're not just sharing stories, we're creating a community of passionate sports enthusiasts. Join us as we dive deep into the evolution of podcasting, where every episode is a chance to engage, debate, and celebrate the world of sports. This is where your voice matters and the game never stops. Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before, where sports passion meets podcasting brilliance. I'm Mike, the Bear fan, and alongside Bill, the Packer fan, and our buddy Ken Catalone, we're bringing you an incredible lineup of 38 diverse podcasters. Each one brings their unique flavor to the table, covering everything from game analysis to behind-the-scenes stories. Imagine diving deep into the minds of experts who live and breathe football, sharing insights that you won't find anywhere else.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to WCFL Dolphins Talk. And I'm Paul Ferguson. We're here on a wonderful Wednesday night. Let me bring on my co-host, starting off with Mr. Johnny O.
What's up, Pop Paul? How are you, brother?
Wonderful, wonderful. Right, that's all that matters.
What we get all fancy here now? I'm Paul Ferguson.
Hey,
you're Papa Paul.
Papa Paul, Paul Ferguson. Just don't call me late for dinner.
That's right.
And let me bring on our next co-host, Mr. Derek Simmons.
Derek, what's up, brother?
Good evening, guys. How y'all doing?
Good. How's Maryland?
Oh, it's actually nice. Just got done cooking some steaks on the grill. It's 69 degrees outside, and I'm loving it.
There you go.
So you can't complain.
Wouldn't do any good anyway. No one listens.
Right?
Are you around? Huh? Are you around Sunday morning, Derek?
I'm going to try to be, depending on where I'm going to be. If we got anybody coming to see the house, I'm going to try to get on.
All right, because I probably won't be. I'll be in the ocean, the Gulf of Mexico somewhere, Gulf of America, whatever you want to call it.
Nice. You're on that cruise, right?
Or Sunday?
What's that?
You leave on Saturday or Sunday?
We leave Saturday, but the first whole day is at sea until we get to our first destination. So Saturday and Sunday, Monday we arrive at the first one.
Okay.
So Sunday and Wednesday I probably won't be on next week.
That's fine.
You don't have Wi-Fi on the boat?
You do, but it's tough. Ask Papa Paul. It's tough to do stuff, especially something like this.
Yeah, I mean, you can get on the Wi-Fi, but yeah, if you got that Dolphin stuff on there, it's going to be popping.
So I haven't seen any more new news about anybody really.
Well, we had Gay Jr. signed today with a 1-year deal from.
Where is he? What position? Where is he from?
Another linebacker from the Saints. It looked like.
Oh, that's right. I did see that. Yeah.
And everybody's cutting up on it again. I'm like, that's depth. So.
Good evening, Jorge Callis. Thank you for joining us.
What's up, everybody watching?
I'm not too familiar with it, but didn't his dad play or something? Wasn't it like?
He might have. There's a lot of guys in the NFL that had family members play. It's amazing how many of them actually, can come in and do it.
Right. But I've seen a lot of things people posting about the new receiver we got from the Titans. People are raving about him. They think he might be a game changer.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. I mean, he only had 34 receptions.
Yeah, 400 and some yards, but 9 of them were TDs.
Yeah, exactly. 9 of them were TDs.
And that gives you that big guy you need in the red zone.
Yeah, we've needed a big body guy for a while.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts about them trying to bring back Jeff Wilson? Do we really need another running back?
Well, yeah, guys get hurt. I mean, you got to have 4 or 5 running backs. If you don't, halfway through the season, you're beat.
Right.
And if they get him cheap enough, I don't see why not. But
I mean, they didn't use him much last year, so it's not like he's banged up.
good evening, Russell. How you doing, my brother?
Russell, what's up, brother?
Good evening, guys. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Scotty, how are you?
Oh yeah, Scotty.
What's up, Scotty?
You know what, John? You know what the funny part is? I can see all of you and I can read all of your names. So I don't know where he was pulling Scotty from.
Me neither. And did Winners forward you the message I sent him?
No, because I think is he working? I think he's working.
No, the other day, Sunday, I sent him a message because I couldn't find you on Facebook or anything, and he said
I'm
no.
not on. Yeah, I'm not on any of the social media. I'm just on Twitter, and I only went on Twitter because of football fans. You know, I like to converse with people. And like I said, I'm not a know-it-all. I like to listen to everybody's opinion. I think the guy that was on the other day, he had valid points, but you have to be serious about what you see. And like you said, John, it's a pony show where guys running around in t-shirts and shorts. That doesn't mean anything.
No.
And
No,
and if you guys have noticed, how many times has the mock changed?
Oh,
Like 10,
absolutely.
15 times. So
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna say what we want to say, and we're gonna feel how we want to feel. But when it comes down to that pick, hopefully they do something that's gonna bona fide either our offensive line or our defensive line. I mean, we can sit and say,
I was going over notes and looking at different things, and the question. All I can see is that if he's available at number 13, we really need to pick Booker.
we do.
Yeah.
And the reason being is he's physical. I was reading what Mel Kiper was saying. Mel Kiper was saying he didn't run that well at the combine. Well, I'm not asking you, my 330-pound offensive guard, to run 4.4. He has to play well in space and knock people off the ball. That's all I want. If he was a tight end or he was a wide receiver, then I would complain.
But see, even that, I mean, it's like I said, the combine to me, part of it, I understand why they're doing it. Part of it is just a joke. These guys have no pads on. You can run a 4.3, then you put pads on, you run a 5.3. What the hell did that matter?
Yep. John, you're right. And the funny thing, John, too, is how many times are you just going to run just straight?
Right. You're cutting, you're moving, you're avoiding somebody hitting you, you're trying to hit somebody. The only time people run straight is if a receiver is running go down the field, gets the ball and just keeps going, or a running back running back gets through the line and there's nobody there and he's just running straight towards the end zone. Other than that, no.
Well, like I tell people, all you have to do is look at the tape. We all have eyes.
Right.
You can see what you want to see and know what you need to know. I mean, everybody looks good in t-shirt and shorts. Some people, like I saw today, they were showing the Alabama Pro Day. Jalen Milrose ran like a 4.3 as a quarterback. They're not running straight all the time.
Right.
No, you're not running straight. You could be running on your tippy toes and all that stuff.
You're also playing in snow. You're playing in rain. You're playing in different conditions. And I was telling Saul this one day. We are NFL players, so I'm not sitting here being an authority on an NFL player. But they all have the same anxieties that we do. They get sick like we do. They're not machines. Yep. So, you take the good with the bad.
But we need to debate, like, if the Steelers do want Milroe. I mean, I'm telling you, I think Milroe is going to be the surprise. I don't know if he goes first round, but running a 4.37 as a quarterback and as big as that man is, I'm telling you right now, if the Steelers want him, we need to act like we're going to draft him and then make the Steelers or somebody come up and get him and get some good draft picks if Booker's still there. Mm-hmm. We need to do what other teams do to us. It's time to take advantage of other teams and not us give away.
Yep.
But I'm telling you, I'm calling it now. That Milroe is going to be he's going to be a top 10 quarterback here very soon. I'm telling you. I really would love to have him as a backup for Tua, but obviously that isn't going to happen because we signed Zach Wilson. But Telling you, that man's gonna be good.
Anything can happen. Don't say it ain't gonna happen. Anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, listen, draft day they could trade Wilson to somebody else and then pick him up. I mean, you don't know. It's and another thing about the combine we were talking about, and they say, oh, so and so stock dropped because he didn't participate. Well, what, the damn film you saw for the last 15 games this year isn't enough? He's got to get out there and throw the ball for you while he's wearing no pads.
I was just gonna say something like about that, Johnny. It's funny you bring it up. Booker's stock has dropped because of the pro day in Georgia. He didn't run too well or something like that, and saying he's going to go late first round to maybe even early second round now. And I'm like, fine, that gives us perfect chance to get him then, no problem.
Listen, if you're basing your pick based on one day, when you have a guy like Booker where you have a couple years worth of film and you're going to base it on one day where maybe his anxiety got to him, maybe he wasn't feeling well, maybe he had a sinus infection, and you're going to base whether you pick this guy on that day, you're a friggin' idiot and shouldn't be a GM or a coach or anything else.
Yeah, right. You're talking about an all-American god who had one bad day of running.
I'm not arguing with you on that, but it's funny how the stock goes up and down just like freaking stock in the stock market.
Too, that could be all smokescreen stuff too, because you don't want teams to know who you actually really want to take, because then it takes away from you possibly trading back, or if we sat out and said, oh, we want Booker, and then everybody knows you want Booker, they're going to try to push you to go up rather than he might drop to where you need to be. Like, I honestly, I hope he drops to the second round. And I hope with our 48th pick, we take a seventh run on the seventh rounders and give it to somebody to come up for a little and take them.
Right. Absolutely.
And that one thing that I think Greer does good is capitalizing on draft stock. He's done pretty good with the trades and everything we've done. That's the only thing I would say he's done decent. You know what I mean? Like really good.
Yeah, so, I could agree with that. He's kind of like a Vegas card dealer. He does a lot of moves, but I just think his evaluation has to be better. Because I mean, it's crazy how we took Cam Smith in the second round and he can't even get on the field. And when he gets on the field, he looks lost. So it's almost like, I mean, we took Shannon Tindall after he had a great season for Georgia as a fast flowing linebacker, and he hasn't done anything but special teams for us. So, I mean,
well, they've never given Tindall really a good chance. He's never started to really seen him on the field in the defense. I don't know why you don't. Cam Smith got hurt. He was doing good there in preseason, but
there's any number of things. Cam Smith never really learned the playbook either, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's all about being intuitive. I mean, if you ain't gonna learn the playbook, that's almost like going to school and taking a test in math and not studying for it. I'm just gonna, and that's what it is with him. It doesn't matter all the talent in the world. I'm like my father used to say. You know what? Being so super talented and you take it for granted, you're gonna bounce around.
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, I say this all the time. When you're drafting kids out of college, you're drafting them on potential in the NFL. It's a different game in the NFL. You're playing every single guy there that's on a team that makes the roster deserves to be there, and you're not playing any slouch. There's nobody across from you who's the third string guy, on a college team. So, some of these guys have the heart, some don't. Some of these guys have all the athletic ability in the world and they don't know how to study, or they don't know how to make meetings on time, or they don't know how to pay attention and listen. And then it shows when they get drafted. Look at Jamarcus Russell. All the physical ability in the world. Huge guy, great arm. Didn't want to study film.
Yep. Right out the league.
Stranger danger.
What's up, gentlemen? How y'all doing?
What's up, Winners? How are you, brother?
What's good with y'all? What's up, Russell? What's up, Paul?
What's going on, Saul? How are you, brother?
I'm great. I just got in. I'm off tomorrow. It feels good. So I'll take it.
There it is.
Yeah, we got a rare sight in the winter.
Johnny O, you ready for your trip?
I got to pack and stuff. I got to pack tomorrow. I mean, I got all day tomorrow and Friday I can pack because we're not leaving here probably till like 2:30 to go to the airport on Friday. So I got plenty of time. I got to work a few hours in the morning tomorrow and then do the grocery shop and then come home and start putting stuff together. It won't take me long.
Hey, gentlemen, I don't know if you know this, but the Dolphins signed Willie Gay Jr., the linebacker, former Chief,
Yeah, I
today.
just seen that. I just seen that. I
Yeah,
mean,
Derek was
right now,
asking
I'm
about
gonna
his
be. I'm gonna be.
dad when
Go ahead.
Derek was asking if his dad
I
played
just
in the
said I'm
NFL.
gonna take the.
I think his dad played for the Lions.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
that's what I thought, but I couldn't
the name
remember.
sounds familiar. It sounds familiar, and I think I think his dad did play in the NFL.
Yeah, I think he played with the Lions. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's one guy
trading
they
card is
complained that
in my mind right now. Yeah,
that's one they complained he kept getting hurt. But hey, you never know. He was a first round draft pick and he could pan out.
You know the funny thing about Greer this free agency period, of all the guys he signed, every single one of them, Daniels coming off of injury, oh, Melifonwu from the Lions coming off of injury, Ashton Davis coming off of injury, Adi Burns coming off of injury, Willie Gay was injured. So he tends to take risks. I mean, but granted, these guys are only 1 year deals. But I mean, this 1 year is big. It's like you're comfortable and you're a playoff team and you can make these type of moves. Because, like I said, it
Right,
could go
like
off the rails real quick.
right. For example, look at Daniels the year before. He had a massive. He helped the Steelers run.
Yep.
Davis off the Jets was a he was out there running the field wild, making nice tackles. So he's definitely, if you go back 1 year, everybody's like, oh, they're hurt, they're hurt. Everybody gets hurt. Like Johnny O and Paul and everybody said, people get hurt. You got to go back to look at the prior game film and what they did. If you go
Yeah,
back to previous stuff, he's done decent. I give
yep.
it a C plus B minus for what we have.
Yeah, that's all well and good. But I mean, with a team with major holes to fill, you need guys to be on the field. It doesn't make any sense if you sign in a mash unit because, like I said, we got 10 picks. We have to hit on 3 of the first 4 have to be starters. I'm not talking about Pro Bowl starters, but they have to be contributors. Because if you go through 4 rounds and you don't get contributors, it's going to go off the rails real quick.
Oh, it'll get ugly very fast. Yeah.
And I mean, like I said, I live out here in Massachusetts and they have spending money like crazy. Doesn't mean you're going to be good because you're spending money, because it's all about chemistry too. You can't just, like I said, you can't plug a rectangle into a circle. So we'll see. I mean, we're all fans. We're going to be rooting our team regardless of what we say on talk shows and what we say in public and what we say at parties. We're still going to be Dolphins fans because it's in our DNA. We ain't part-timers like half the fan base that, oh, well, this guy and bashing people's families. I'm not into that.
Yeah, we
You
don't
know?
we don't bleed red. We bleed or aqua and orange, baby.
Yep.
Yep.
But
It's it.
but you know how they said about McDaniels being a player guy, helping two out. There's a lot of talk, even from a lot of people that I talked to, because when we had the death in the family, went down, talked to a lot of Ravens fans and family that I met down in Baltimore. They're diehard like PSL fans. They said one of the biggest losses we get in Weaver, and he was able to turn something that was in the rough into a diamond. So there's a lot of upside, but then the worst thing is we could always cut them, with some of these 1 year deals. But like I said, I think if Cam Smith can't prove something in training camp and ball out in 1 or 2 of the games, I think it's time for him to go. I think they're going to give Tendo a chance. If he don't shine, he's got to go. Because if you can't, like I'd be like saying Tua. If Tua couldn't perform and had the season he had with McDaniels, if you can't do that with your defensive coach is going to work with you, Weaver, you might as well forget it, because they're supposed to be 2 of the better coaches.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys, and this is the thing. I think this is the thing that a lot of people are really worried about, is including myself. We're signing a whole bunch of 1 years, 1 years, 1 years, knowing that we need, for us to get to the upper echelon in the NFL, we need to lock people in. And that is our problem. That is a major problem. We are not going to be a top 10 team in the NFL. I keep just plugging people in, and then it comes to the year. Like, just for example, I'm just going to hypothetically put this out here. Russell just named 5 people that we just signed that are all coming off an injury that are playing for us this season. What if all 5 of these players ball the fuck out? Then it's a decision of, okay, who do we keep? Because we're not going to
Yep.
be able to keep everybody. We know
Yeah, 'cause
that.
all our money's wrapped
So
up in
we
receivers.
Well, but that's what Greer does.
absolutely.
He tries to get the
So
1 year contract for cheap. If they play great, they're just auditioning for a different team the following year. But he's manipulating the cap by signing these guys coming off of injuries, and that's why he likes, as Russell puts it, the mash unit. Because if they work out and play well, great. If they don't, you only sign them to 1 year. So he's kind of hedging his bet the way he does it.
But one good thing we got
right, but
signings like Brooks, not Brooks, Dotson. You know, he got 2 years, 8.5 million.
mhm,
So it's definitely showing that if you ball out and do good, you're not going to get this massive contract, but you're going to get somewhat rewarded.
Well,
that's true.
that's a good thing. I mean, Dodson did play well when Seattle released him. He was leading their team in tackles, so that was a good pickup.
Mhm,
But our
right.
problem is we invested too much in 3 players. Now it's like the rubber's going to hit the road. You can't keep kicking the can down the road by, well, we're going to give him this. Every time somebody gets upset, we got to pay that guy, whether it's Tyreek, whether it's Tua, whether it's Waddle. We're invested right now with those 3, just those 3. You're going to have Jalen Phillips is going to be coming up for a new deal. Would you want to see him walk? Then you're going to have Brooks is going to need a new deal. Do you want to see him walk?
Mhm.
We've already watched Fitzpatrick go out the door. We've watched Wilkins go out the door. We've watched Holland go out the door. We watched Robert Hunt go out the door. You can't keep going to the well and say, well, we drafted you. You're going to play here 3 years and then we're going to let you go as you turn great.
I think
It's not.
the only thing right now, I think Rare is maybe thinking of is maybe the draft class that he drafts might actually be a hit. And I'm not saying that all his drafts are horrible, but I won't say they were great either. So maybe, just maybe, like hypothetically you said on Sunday, your first 4 draft picks gotta be right from the door. You gotta bring them in, and they gotta start. They gotta be starters. They gotta fucking play. Like there is no, okay, you can sit behind this person or sit behind that person. No, you need to have guys that are going to come straight in and play, or come into rotation right away. That's just what
Mom.
it is for real.
That's good.
Hey, what's up, man? Oh my God,
What's
who is that guy? I
what's
don't
up,
know who
brother?
that guy
That's
is.
another
Who's the
rare
new guy?
sighting. That's another rare sighting.
Stranger
Yeah.
danger, stranger danger.
Wow, yo, can I get
Well, it's
can I
good.
get your autograph, sir?
I told you I had that shit to do. You think I want to fucking do that shit every day at Wednesday 8 o'clock? I did get an extra vacation day out of it because they can't technically make you work, but they can make you work and they give you comp time to make it look like they're not making you
Oh
work.
shit!
Not like I had a choice, but what's good, everybody?
I mean,
What's up, brother?
I mean, we
Uh,
What's up,
heard we
brother?
heard about the go. I mean, we heard about the ghost of Tom O'Gara, but we didn't know if you existed still or not.
Off seasons get shorter and shorter.
Yo, you ain't never lied, brother. How you doing, man? It's
No,
good to see you.
I'm chilling. Fucking my
he, he,
mom's plane just got delayed. That's what I was waiting on. Hey, it took me like 20 minutes to get in. It was like Google does not recognize access. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? So I restarted my
Oh
phone
my God.
twice, and then I talked to my
Uh,
mom for a minute. She was like waiting at Philly Airport to go to Biloxi, Mississippi right now on a gambling trip, and I'm like, Ma, I gotta go. Like, I got like 14 things to
Tom is
do
all
and 10
ready
minutes
for
to
his
do.
cruise. That's what Tom's ready for.
Oh, I wish, Paul. I haven't even fucking packed yet.
Me neither. I'll start tomorrow.
At some point, yeah. My dining
Hey,
room
Johnny
table's got
O,
everything on it.
Johnny O, or Thomas, I'll be your luggage. I mean, I might be overweight for it, but hey, we can make it work.
That'll
Listen,
work too.
I'm not, Derek, I like you, but I'm not sticking my fingers in your ass to carry you on.
I was gonna say you better shove a pound of fucking weed in your ass for me.
Hey, they got that. I can throw a sticker. I can throw a sticker on the side. I think it says wide load and overweight. We can get it on that plane
Excellent.
some way.
Fantastic.
What time you coming up here on Friday, Tom?
uh,
Did you check to see if we're still the same time or we're the later time for the flight?
No, right now the JetBlue app still says 5:30 takeoff or whatever.
All right. I'll probably leave my house at like I don't know what time we gotta be at the airport. What time are we leaving for the airport?
I figure we can't leave any later than like 2:30.
All right, so I'll leave my house by like 12 o'clock, the latest probably then.
All right.
It sucks
Tom,
not
are
to
Tom, are you up in PA?
No, he's in South Jersey, close
Oh,
close
South
to PA.
Okay, because you're in you're in Jersey too, right, Johnny?
Yeah, I'm in the central. He's in the south.
Oh, okay.
He's
Yeah,
right outside of
we got the
Trenton.
tri-state thing going on.
Yep.
Yeah, we got the
Oh
tri-state
boy.
going on.
He's got
Central,
a
South, and
jockey
Philly,
uniform
and then we
on.
got.
Well, they fucked my order up. It was supposed to be leopard print. So I was gonna bring it to match like my dolphin shit, like my cheetah print stuff, but like whatever. So I'm aqua referee today.
Lay down and you play.
I got my brother Russell here on the panel.
I do got something else to show you guys. I
Oh,
showed
go ahead,
John
guys.
already. Peep game.
Hey, does anybody need any? They're having a big autograph session down in
Addison.
Chantilly, Virginia. Ricky Williams is going to be there. Anybody needs anything signed?
The light. We can't see the light with the light behind you.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, that's Batman.
Oh, I love it.
Wolverine.
Well, yeah,
That's
it's his
Iron
Wolverine
Man.
Oh,
mask.
Wolverine.
Oh,
Oh, nice,
Wolverine.
dude.
Wolverine.
Let's go
Oh,
put the
that is
padding and shit in the
dope.
book.
That is
Pretty cool,
sick.
right?
That came on nice, brother.
Nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, like 3D print John. This shit pops all off.
That's Monday
Oh,
night, Reed.
dude.
There you go. That's a Monday. That's for a Monday night game
Now,
right there.
now
That's
it looks like one of the characters from what is it, Christmas Story or whatever?
Yep.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
That's season opener right there.
There you go.
That'd be dope.
There
Tom,
you
how do
go.
I get one of those? Man, that's sick.
I can send you the link. The guy does Deadpool, Batman, Spider-Man.
Deadpool or
and
Wolverine, that would be sick.
I got the Wolverine because the mouth is open and our Dolphins make us like to drink a lot. So if I had a Deadpool or a Spider-Man, I wouldn't be able to drink while I'm watching them.
Right.
Yep. You have to bring your own straw in.
Pretty much. The guy just started doing Daredevil ones too, so they're kind of cool. I saw someone got a Duke Daredevil one this week.
And that would be cool because the Daredevil had the D on his mask, and if it's aqua and orange is the D, the Dolphins.
Yeah, it'd be
What,
sick.
what that set you back about a few $100?
Yeah, it was like 200, I think, but it was
That
like
is-
pretty
that
pretty
is not
quick start
bad
to
at
finish.
all,
The guy
dude.
like made it and got to me in 6 days from when I ordered it.
Dude, that's
Definitely happy with it. Yeah,
Damn,
I
that's
should have
good.
put the padding inside it. He gave me the padding for it, so I got to figure all that out still. But yeah, shit's dope.
dude, that is sweet.
So if they let me in the stadium with that, we'll see.
Okay, Tom. What is your opinion on what we've done in free agency so far?
It's not bad. It's kind of as expected. I mean, we were gonna go value signing versus free agent splash signing. The MO for the Dolphins is throw a shit ton of money at somebody and then they don't work out, or the team isn't ready for it. A la Sue, great player, a lot of money. Team wasn't ready for just one guy to impact everything. A lot of teams overpaid just because they had money. So I'm glad we didn't overspend for things. I do like both safeties we picked up. Iffy was basically the starting safety for that team that went to the NFC Championship and got hurt in the NFC Championship game for the Lions when they blew the lead to the Niners. And now they just have a surplus of too much talent back there. There was no reason to pay him or keep him. So I think he could be really good. Javon Holland shot for the moon, didn't get it. Hates playing on turf, but he'll be there for the next 3 years. Bye. James Daniels could be like the best signing of free agency. He is going to learn today. James Daniels could be the best signing of free agency. You got a guard for $24 million versus the next starting guard was $88 million. Granted, I know the Achilles injury or not, but minus that Achilles injury, the guy grades out as high-level guard. We need somebody that's a bruiser. Even if his run blocking isn't great because his Achilles isn't good, his pass blocking is probably 10 to 15 points higher than any single offensive lineman the Dolphins have. So, even if it takes him a little bit to get his feet back, he'll stand back there and give Tua some time.
Yeah, that
Nikhil,
was one of my favorite things.
Nick Westbrook Kenny, I love that pickup. I think it's great. We actually have a decent tall receiver now that can run fades. Crazy stat is he had 9 touchdowns with a mix of Mason Rudolph and fucking Will Levis. The entire Dolphins $60 million wide receiver top 2 didn't have 9 touchdowns last year. The entire room as a whole had 8 touchdowns. He had 9. So if you can have your third option as a guy who can stretch the field, you could throw in the red zone. He's also not afraid and doesn't have alligator arms over the middle of the field. I think it's a great pickup. I don't think it will minimize Malik Washington at all. They'll be using him a lot in a ton of different roles and ways to use him. Willie Gay was a decent signing today. I was hoping they would look at like Kazir White, but he probably priced himself out. Right now, I would say we need a D tackle, a corner, a young safety, and another guard. Other than that, I think we're in decent shape.
Okay, on that, what about the running back we picked up, Madison?
He's okay. I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's crazy to think he's only 25 or 26 years old. I feel like he's been in the league for like ever. Last year was probably his worst year, but I mean, the Raiders weren't great either. It didn't really help him, but he could be a good third down or short yardage back. He's got some size to him. He used to back up in Minnesota. Fuck is he backing up?
Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, couldn't think. Yeah, so I mean, he's got some potential to him. I mean, granted, he might not even make the team. They're thinking about bringing Jeff Wilson back, and I wouldn't be surprised if Mike falls in love with Travion Henderson or Ollie Gordon, who I prefer. If we're going to get somebody in the third or fourth round, Ollie Gordon could be a steal. There's a ton of really good running backs in this draft. Like, of course, granted, the top two would be like, Judkins, Henderson, and Genty and Scatterbo, but like you're going to be able to get guys in between 2 to 5 that are going to be starters or good significant number 2s in the league. I mean, for me, if at 13, if Campbell's there, you take him. If Maboud's there, you take him. If Banks is there, you take him. If none of those guys are there, you go Nick Amori. You can go Jadee, the kid, the corner, or you can go Will Johnson. Like, you have a plethora of options. I don't think there's a way to fuck this draft up, to be honest with you. Even if they went luxury and they got Tyler Warren, I wouldn't be mad. I don't think there's a way they can really screw this draft up.
Tom, we say that, but guess what? We find a way to fuck the draft up. We do find ways to fuck the draft up. We've seen this.
Yeah, I mean, head coaches fall in love with guys. I know. I get it.
Would you pick up Cooks at 13?
Cooks. I mean Cooks.
Cook from Georgia.
You mean Booker from Alabama?
Booker.
No, Stark.
Cooks.
I thought
Malachi Starks is a safety. Javon Walker is the linebacker at the end.
I must be thinking about Booker than the offensive guard.
Yeah, he's from Bama.
Yeah, that's Booker from Alabama.
I mean, I wouldn't take him at 13, but if he's there in round 2, sure, him or but Simmons has been steadily rising his stock too. The tackle out of Ohio State.
The only
7 in garbage time or not, Tyreek Hill gets paid $32 million. Can't catch a damn ball. He's got 5 touchdowns. He had more babies than touchdowns last year. 7 touchdowns in garbage time or not. I don't want to hear it. You want to bring back Braxton Berrios for $2 million to fair catch the ball, or OBJ to play 3 games for $2 million?
Yeah,
He's a low risk, high reward guy.
Yeah, I think the only problem with Greer does a lot of wishing in one hand and shitting in the other, because he keeps going to the well with hoping. Like the first 4 picks, we got to hit on 3 of them. We got to have at least 3 starters. I'm not saying they got to be pro bowlers and all pros, but they got to be steady starters.
But in the same token, all the guys that we're losing that are getting paid big money that our entire fan base is crying about are all Greer picks. So
yeah, you can't hit on every single one. Obviously, I mean, right. we had Minka Fitzpatrick.
You can't appease every single thing that the coach wants. Flores got Iggy Mahogany, and he sucked for the Dolphins. Now he's doing decent as a nickel corner with Washington.
Yep. Well, that's what I was telling these guys the other day. Certain guys don't fit in certain systems.
It's all about scheme and fit anymore. It's crazy.
Yep. Plus, I think if Weaver was there, I think Iggy Mahogany probably would have done a little better.
Probably, because he would have developed him better. Flores just, if it's not his way, it's the fucking highway. And you kind of saw that fall apart in the second half of the year.
Well, you figure
same with
Flores
defense coordinator from
Flores ran Fitzpatrick out of town. How'd that work out?
And Ajayi.
Yeah, well, that was Gase. Gase wanted to get rid of Ajayi so bad. And he said, "Thanks for the ring."
Yeah,
right. Yeah, basically.
I mean, I don't know if we're going to be able to get Campbell back. I know the Kansas
they've got a deal.
$7 million offer.
Yeah, Barry Jackson on the Miami Herald, so they got it out. It's either them, the Ravens, or retirement. So we'll see.
Yeah, the Chiefs try to slide in and give him the highest money out of all 3 teams. The Chiefs have a standing at $7 million. Miami's undisclosed, and the Ravens just want him back because he started there.
Yeah, a
or
lot of my friends and family that are down in Baltimore, they're talking. There's a lot of talk about Calais coming there.
Yeah, because he wouldn't be forced to be like the number one guy. He could come in rotationally, like how Fletcher Cox did with the Birds 2 years ago, because they got Metabuke who's killing it.
Yep. Yep.
And who'd you said had $7 million? The Chiefs had
Yep.
$7
There
million
you
for
go.
Yeah, the
Campbell.
Chiefs offered him $7 million for Campbell. It's a standing offer as well, trying to lure him to put him next to Jones.
Does he really want to play in that cold weather though? Really? But I mean, can we even afford $7 million?
No.
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 Well, they're also talking about restructuring Tua. That'll free up $19 million.
Well, they can talk all they want. If they do it, great. But if they're just talking about it, I don't care.
Yes.
So the debate on that is everyone wants to see everyone wants to get rid of Tua, but if you restructure, and everyone's complaining we're not restructuring, this is where people that don't understand, it's hilarious. You're screaming, "Well, fucking take less money, you suck." He's not losing a cent. Restructuring
Yeah, he's
doesn't
not
mean he
losing a
loses
cent.
a dollar.
Kicking the can
It means
down
he gets
the
it in a bonus now, and then you're adding void years to the contract. So in 27, when you want to get rid of him and you could only lose 15 million total, you're now having to add that 19 million to spread out over multiple years after. It's the same reason that we're paying Xavier Howard $15.9 million to not play for the Dolphins the last 2 seasons.
Right, yeah. Look at the example. Look at the Bengals. They got, they just got both of them guys $100 million. It's going to bite them in the ass here for long, and Burrow's going to be on his back.
They ain't not going to have no defense.
They're so
They got no
dumb.
defense, and they got no
They're
line.
not going to have no defense whatsoever.
They have no one to be upset about besides themselves. When everyone else got their deals of 30, 32 million, that's when Chase should have got his deal. As soon as CeeDee Lamb got 35, and like, we'll wait till next year. And then the Browns had to be assholes and fuck the entire league over and give someone $10.5 million more annually for a non-quarterback position. So now what's TJ Watt going to want next year with Pittsburgh? He's just as good as Myles Garrett, making 25.
Yeah,
every premier D tackle that's making 20-25 that you're like, oh, they're good, but they're not that, are now all going to want 40-45 million a year. Like, it's going to keep going up.
Well, that's the problem with the way the cap is run. Is it takes one team to fuck everybody.
Yeah,
they'll overpay for the guy who isn't as good as other guys. So when those other guys come up for contracts, that's all they put in front of the team is, I'm better than him. So look at my stats. That's what he's making. I got to make more.
And that's why the NFL wants to keep doing these international games to make more money, because the cap's based on the revenue of the league shares as a whole.
Right.
And Greer's done the same thing as what the Bengals did. We kept, waiting, and then now, so we're kind of in the same boat.
Then you got the bozo.
Good.
Then you got the bozo owner of the Cleveland Browns who gave Deshaun Watson the only guaranteed contract as a quarterback.
They're trying to get rid of him as bad as they can. They can't.
So now they can't get rid of him, and they're going to keep paying him regardless. They're going to pay him to sit at home, and they gave him $45 million guaranteed. No bonuses. No, his 45 every year.
Restructured it 3 times.
Damn.
He's due $100 million still over the next 2 years, whether he plays or not.
Wow.
That's why I keep saying. That's why I keep saying the NFL needs to go to a cap where it's percentage wise. Your quarterback can only make 18% of your cap. Your best receiver can only make 12% of your cap. Your best defensive lineman can only make 10% of your cap. And whatever that turns out to be, that's as much as they can make.
Or you let it free for all, and then you just do the tax thing.
That's the problem, but that's when the CBA, and then that's where they're going to switch to CBA, and that's when the unions are going to get involved, and then
it's going to be a whole shutdown.
You're not changing the cap. You let it keep going up every year. You're just saying this position can only make this percentage of the cap.
Yeah, like basically what they did with the draft after Bradford, where they were given these first one overall picks, $50-60 million, and then they were getting hurt and missing time, and then they structured the draft to be like per slot, per pick, per year, per number, and the way it goes up. So your number 1 overall pick's getting like 35 over the life of this 5-year deal per se versus getting 50.
The last time that
go ahead, Russell.
The last time that happened, Jamarcus Russell, they said nope, we got to stop that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's why they do it percentage wise.
But if anything would happen like that, and you try,
here's a general question.
Sorry, Winters, go ahead.
Here's a general question. So whose really fault is that? Is that the NBA, the MLB, NFL, or hockey? Because if I'm correct, The NBA and MLB is fucking ridiculous. You got one player and for the Mets that's making $2.25 billion. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you got
And then you
players
got
from
billionaire
other
owners that don't care.
Well,
They'll pay the
teams,
extra
other
baseball, there's
tax.
no
organizations, and
salary
they're
cap
like, yo, what
either.
the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what the funny thing about
Right.
baseball, though? Baseball has no salary cap. But what happens is the top earners, you're talking the Dodgers, the Yankees, the
The
Mets,
Mets,
are
Phillies.
controlling
Right.
all of baseball. So the teams like
Correct.
Tampa Bay, the teams like Milwaukee, the small market teams are never going to sign a Juan Soto. They're never going to sign a Ohtani. Ohtani, when he first came to the league, he only wanted to go to the West Coast because why? It's closer to Japan.
Mhm.
Correct.
But
And
then,
you
then
notice,
they're trying to got skewed recently, though. Kind of changed a little bit on that whole thing, where it
yep,
was like a mix. Now it's like a mix. I'm with you.
yep,
It's just shit's crazy,
yep.
dude.
It's just, but you look at the Dodgers. They signed all the top players from Japan. Why?
Mhm.
Because Los Angeles is a big media market, Asian community, and it's easier to get back home. Where are they opening up at? Tokyo. First two
Yeah.
games of the year were in where? Tokyo. For
And
those
then
three major
deferring $1
stars.
trillion instead of playing under the rules of the
Yep.
tax luxury tax. Let me defer
And
$1
then
billion.
Ohtani, this is what people don't realize. Ohtani got a $700 million deal, but he's actually only being paid $2 million a year because he said, I want it all deferred. You know how much
Mhm.
interest that's going to be?
He's gonna make $100 million. He's gonna have bigger money than Bobby Bonilla for 30 years.
Oh yeah,
30
way
years.
bigger.
Just the interest. Don't
And
even
the
have to touch the
and the
principal.
worst part about the whole damn thing is motherfuckers should be banned for life. You tell me he wasn't betting on fucking games is crazy.
Right. Or because he was giving the money.
Fact.
He was giving the
Fact.
money
He was complicit in some way, shape, or form. His first interviews before the lawyers got around him was, I lent it to him. So you were
Yep.
well aware of what the hell he was doing with the money. Then all of a sudden, oh no, we retract that statement. Look, he's a great ball player, but if he's
Right.
going to do that and you're not going to fucking do anything about it because he's the face of the league and the trillions of dollars from international revenue, then let fucking Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You're not going to let Pete Rose in there, and
You
you
ain't
got
never lied.
And Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens and
Alex Rodriguez.
Miguel Cabrera and all these other guys that are around. Alex Rodriguez,
The
yeah.
list goes on and on and on.
Shit's crazy.
I
Mind
just
you, there was
think,
no
you know,
rule against steroids back in the
it's
day.
funny,
HGH
too.
was allowed. Baseball needed it so bad. Numbers were in the shitter. You were coming off your second strike in 5 years. You needed something to interject life. There comes Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire hitting 75 home runs a year. Holy shit. Baseball's fun again. Let's get the family back out in the park.
You know the funny thing too, this is don't people make me laugh about this because I had an argument with this guy in my neighborhood about this. He's like, Barry Bonds cheated. He cheated.
No, he didn't.
No, but he never failed a drug test. They just assumed because he got bigger.
But
Yeah,
David
but-
Ortiz got in the Hall of Fame after he was known to do them as well. And not a damn
When he was
question.
when he was a Minnesota Twin, David
He was a
Ortiz
Twin.
had 7 home runs. He gets traded to the Red Sox that offseason. He hits 50.
Mhm.
And then his excuse was, "Oh, I had it in a milkshake in the Dominican Republic." You had what?
Regardless, when all this started, steroids were not illegal. They weren't breaking any rules.
Nope.
Right.
Hey, you know how many people have taken steroids and not hit 10 home runs?
Oh, absolutely.
Doesn't mean everybody's going to be a star because you took steroids.
No, the steroids, basically, they take them to recover quicker.
Yep, like they used to do in the 70s. It was amphetamines to stay awake.
You still got to train and put the work in. It just helps you heal quicker. But if you don't put in the work and work 10 times harder, it's a waste.
The craziest part that Bonds never needed it. Neither did A-Rod. They both had Hall of Fame
because
numbers.
when Bonds was a Pittsburgh Pirate, he was thin
nasty.
and fast. He was still a Hall of Fame player.
Absolutely. Same with McGuire, same with A-Rod. They didn't need
Right.
it.
You know, the funny thing is, people got mad when he started buying his hats at Pottery Barn.
But hey, let me ask you guys this. So how we were talking about the cap going crazy. If we, like Johnny O, where you said like 18% or something for a quarterback, we get back into the CBA kind of issue. Do you think if something like that happened, like they're doing with the draft, do you think you would have a lot of holdouts because we've let it get so far out of control because of the other sports?
Well, see, the problem is, and I say it all the time, it takes one team to fuck up the entire landscape of what a player is going to earn. One owner is willing to overpay one guy, and then shit goes nuts. And we saw it, 5-6 years ago, this started with the quarterbacks, and it's getting insane. Dak Prescott is not worth $60 million a year. He has won absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You
Charlie?
know the old motto. It only takes one.
Right, well, that's what it is. It's the one bad apple spoils it for the whole bunch, and then one team does it. When Tua was up for contract, what did I keep saying on our show? I would like the Dolphins front office to sit him down and say, "Listen, it's not happening. You're not getting that kind of money."
See what your value is on the market. Yep.
But it
You know
takes
what his
one
value is now, though? He's 12th ranked value contract.
right.
1 year, 1.5 years later.
In 1
12.
year. Yep.
That's crazy.
So it takes one team to sit a guy down and say, "We're not doing that. You're going to play on your 5th-year option, and that's that. If you have a great year, we'll talk about it. If you don't, we can franchise you next year, and you're still not going to be the highest paid guy." But the teams won't do that, and I don't understand why. You have the franchise tag for a reason. There are certain situations, use it. They should have made Tua play on his 5th-year option and then go from there. If they had to franchise him, franchise him. If you thought Denny was worth 38 or 40 million, pay him.
Because if you think about it, how much money would we have saved on Tua if he played on the 5th year and got hurt?
As of right now, nothing.
Right. As of now, nothing.
It's 125% of the top 3 contracts annually. You'd have been giving him 60, 55, and 53. It would have been like 57 million.
Now, yeah.
1 year. Last year would have been like.
Well, last year would have been his 5th-year contract.
He would have got. So he would have got the same money. He would have got the money Lawrence got. That's exactly what he would have got.
That's what I mean. His cap hit
That's
was
what
$9
Lawrence
million
is
last year.
Lawrence is
He
getting
only got
it.
$9 million against cap last year.
You know another little sidelight everybody seems to forget? After all that with Deshaun Watson, you know who was the best quarterback for money? It was Kirk Cousins. He was getting paid and not taking deals. He was like, "Oh, you franchise me. Okay, now the money's
He was
going
good
up to
with it.
$50 million. You want to pay me $50 million? All right, I won't say nothing. You can keep franchising me. I'll leave. You franchise me." And
I want
that's
that man's
the thing.
agent for life, bro. That man
Yep.
has made the most.
So he made like
guaranteed
almost
money.
200 million. He made like 200 million over 4
Guaranteed.
years.
Mm-hmm. He's got like 500
100%
million
guaranteed
for his entire
all
career.
of it.
It's crazy.
And you know another thing too that we seem to forget? All these NFL teams, like we said about the Browns owner overpaying and this one overpaying. Those television contracts make people like a Tyreek Hill, like a Justin Jefferson, like a Chase say, "Well, these owners are all splitting $1 billion. Why can't I get blah blah blah?"
Right.
And they have no answer for them because you got to pay them. And then Roger Goodell's the one running out like a pimp to the agencies and the network saying, "Well, if you don't pay us, this one's going to pay us." You
Let's sign
remember
$1 trillion with FanDuel, but you're not allowed to bet.
Yeah.
But it's everywhere. You walk in the stadium, it's at every single thing in front of their face.
And then you got football was on NBC, CBS, Fox, and ABC back in the day. Now you got football on Amazon Prime, YouTube TV,
Netflix,
and it's on Netflix, and
Peacock.
all these Peacock, all these pay-per-view type channels.
Peacock. Wait.
Shit's
Peacock
crazy.
and Paramount Plus. Don't forget
And
those two.
Paramount
as well.
too. It's fucking crazy.
So it went from regular TV to pay TV. Now they're even talking about having a Super Bowl overseas.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think these franchises are worth way more than what they were bought for? Because these guys are bringing in an exorbitant amount of money through these TV deals.
Yep. And that's when you got guys in the NFL saying, "I want more, I want more, I want more." And you know the funny thing is, we're the dummies that keep paying to go.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely, and we will. I mean, that's part of being a fan.
Of course, yeah, we definitely.
They got the monopoly on us. That's what it is.
Yep.
They
Like
figured
I was
out how
telling-
to get the addiction to us. That's what it is. They do
I was
enough to
telling
keep it
Saul,
going.
me and Saul were talking, and he was like, "I got this jersey, I got that jersey." I said, "I got 2 T-shirts, I got 2 jerseys. I got a Jason Taylor and a Zach Thomas hanging in my closet." I was the same guy every year. I mean, I can tell you how many jerseys I went through. Oh my God, it's nuts. And my girl used to look at me and said, "Let me guess, you're going to get another jersey. Let me guess, you're going to get another jersey." And I used to tell her all the time, "Yeah, I go out and buy a jersey, the player leaves. Damn Reebok, whoever it is, the distributor league ain't giving me no refund." They'd be like, "Hey, you bought it. Screw you." So I started buying jerseys with my last name. I ain't getting traded.
I do the same thing. Mine all have 69 and Johnny O on the back because I can't get traded.
Yep.
That's why we need to draft a player.
That's why I don't pay the NFL for any of their fucking jerseys. Fuck them and Fanatics. Odor overseas
Derek,
for
you
the
don't
same price they
need
get
to
them from.
draft a player with Simmons on it. You know, Johnny has Johnny O in his birth year. I have Papa Paul in my birth year.
Yep.
Johnny just happened to be a lucky one with his birth year being 69.
That's right, baby. It's a double entendre. People look at me and go, "What?" And I have to tell them it's the year I was born.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are all young. I was born in '64. I ain't putting that on my shirt.
Why not? Be proud,
I got
brother,
87.
brother. You're still here. Be proud.
No, I don't have a problem with the age part about it. Is Saul will tell you when we go places. And I'm honest. I always say my age. We'll be out somewhere. They'll say, "Hey, how old are you?" And I say 61. You have to see these faces.
They don't believe
You
him.
ain't that
They
old.
don't
You ain't
believe
that
him.
old. You
They
ain't that
not
old.
that old. I'm like,
Well, that
yeah,
goes
he
back
is.
to the old. That goes back to the old adage: black don't crack.
Yeah, that goes to a lot of sleepless nights with the wife.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I wish I was in the 90s, man. That would have been better. Me being a big guy in the 90s. It's 87. I ain't no damn receiver.
That's the
Well,
year
that's
I
all right.
graduated high school, brother.
I graduated
born
high
in
school.
90.
I graduated high school in '82.
Damn, I wasn't even thought of yet. Shit.
Same,
Yep, it was
not even
funny.
a nut
I
talk.
graduated high school. I
I was
graduated high
5 years
school.
old in '82.
Yep, I graduated high school June 4th of '82, and I was in the Navy November 6th of '82, and never looked back. And like I was telling my girl the other day, she was like, "Oh, honey, we're gonna go on a cruise in January." I said, "The only cruise I'm going is I'm cruising right upstairs and laying on the bed. I ain't going on no more ships, no more."
And I graduated
I
in June
graduated
of
June 4th,
85.
Sheesh.
June
Derek,
94,
Derek, when were you
June
born in
4,
'87?
94.
Yeah, I was 87. November of
Put in the
87.
bowl.
I was already in the army. I graduated June 18th, I think, and September 1st, I went in the army.
Oh, wow.
Derek was born in what, '87? He said
Yeah.
87. I was in Manila eating kiwis off the trees. Downtown Manila, overlooking Subic Bay in the Navy. '87.
Wow.
That's funny.
I was 10. I was 10 in '87.
Sheesh. Saul, you can't come here. You're too young.
I'm way too young. Yeah, I need ID.
You can't be coming here. You're too young. You're not good for my morale.
Hey, you hang out with the
shit.
young ones, it keeps you young.
Too late.
I'm only kidding. You guys are always welcome here.
Tom and I are going on a cruise this coming week, and Tom's in between my oldest and second son. He's like another son to me. My oldest son is 35, Tom's 34, Pat's 33. Tom falls right in there.
Falls right in. The Brady Bunch.
That's another son from another mother.
There you go. He's more like a drunk little brother, but
you and my sister are the same age, Johnny. Yep.
You know, the funny thing, guys, is when we talk about like our ages and just families and stuff, and I was telling Saul this, it's weird when you meet people that are fans of the team, and I say to people, like, it was weird because I was telling Saul when I first met Saul, I had been a fan since 1970, and he's looking at me and he's probably saying, this motherfucker full of shit because I look young.
Yeah, I was looking at him
And
like,
the funny part is,
what?
I was born in '64. My dad was a big Vikings fan, so we used to talk football all the time. But I wasn't a fan as a kid because we were big into basketball. So my older brothers were playing basketball. They were big New York Knicks fans. My dad in 1970 was a Chicago Bulls fan. Jordan was none of these people around. So I was like, Dad, why you like that team? And he says, oh, I used to like Bob Love. But like, Bob Love? And I didn't know anybody. And, back then you only had whatever area you lived in is the team you saw on TV.
Yep. And you had to check the box scores to see any other teams.
Yep. And it was all newspaper and the TV guide. A lot of you young cats ain't going to know what that is. And my dad was funny. He was like, oh, we're gonna go watch a basketball game. We're gonna go watch a basketball game. And it was the Celtics in 1970. And I was like, I don't want to see that team because I saw them on TV and I didn't like how they played. So I was like, nah. My brothers liked the Knicks because of Clyde Frazier and Earl the Pearl Monroe and Dave DeBusschere. So they were big Knicks fans when we were kids. So my dad was like, oh, well, you can like football like your father, be purple, the Vikings. I'm like, I didn't like the color purple. I was like, I don't want that color. So he was like, "Oh, you watch the preseason and then pick a team and then stick with that team." So we were going to a Shell gas station. We got a set of drinking glasses, and it was in a brown cardboard box, but you couldn't tell who it was. So when I opened it up when we got home, it was the Dolphins, but you couldn't tell because it's a glass. It's a clear glass. It just had that emblem. So I was like, "Is this team good?" My father, "Oh no, they stink. They stink." So I got a TV guide. They happened to be on that preseason. I watched them. I liked the colors. I got hooked on the colors. And I remember my mom worked at Sears and Roebuck, and she asked me who my team was. I said the Miami Dolphins. She come home with a Paul Warfield jersey. I was like 6 years old, number 42 jersey. It said Dolphins Paul Warfield 42. I was losing it. So that September came. My dad ended up taking me to the season opener, Boston Patriots against Miami Dolphins, September of 1970. And I cracked up laughing because I didn't know where we were going. We go to the game. It was at BU, Boston University Field. They were playing in the AFL. And I watched the game with my father and his two brothers, Wallace and Kenneth. And the Dolphins lost 28-14. And I cried like somebody told a 6-year-old there was no such thing as Santa. I was crying all the way home. And he was like, "Why are you crying? Why are you crying? That team stinks." That year, they went to the Super Bowl and lost to Dallas. Oh, my father was hot. He was like, "Oh, see, there was lucky. Da, 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 da." I'm like, "Dad, I'm telling you, this team's going to be good." And I could still hear my father say, "Oh, if they ever play the Vikings, we're going to take care of them." And when the Dolphins beat the Vikings in the Super Bowl, you would have swore that I was a black kid in a white family. My father didn't talk to me. He didn't do nothing.
The redheaded stepchild.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you guys, listen, I'm lying, I'm dying. My father, if there was child abuse laws back then, I wasn't eating well, I wasn't sleeping well. I was like, and you're talking about a kid that's 7, 8 years old, 73. I'm like, 9 years old. My father was mad. What? Yeah, man.
He's probably like, how the hell did he figure that out or know that?
Yeah, my father was a big Vikings fan. Purple People Eaters. That's all I used to hear. Him and my brothers. Well, my brothers, Wayne, Warren, and Marcus, they're all Steeler fans. I used to hate that steel curtain bullshit. And then, of course, my sister was Dallas. So, yeah, I didn't like that either. So it was funny. Everybody in the house had a different team. And my mom would say, I say, "Ma, you don't like football." She goes, "No, but I'm going to stick with you, Rusty. I'll go Dolphins. Don't tell nobody." Yeah, it was good times, man.
Well, I tell you what, the color catches more people than anything.
Yeah. And you got to remember, too, those throwback jerseys were crazy in the 70s. I mean, they wear them, now. And you see how crazy the fans go when they wear the throwbacks and the helmets. Yeah.
My wife likes the color. She's a Bills fan, and she likes the colors so well. We went aqua and orange basically on our wedding stuff. I was like, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Had all her family come down that was Bills fans.
Right.
We're like, what are we doing with this? We need to boycott the wedding.
Yeah, it's funny. My wife she's not a big fan of anybody. She was a big Chicago Bulls because of Jordan, like all girls. And then when I had met her, she was like, no football team, no nothing. So I got her wearing Dolphin stuff. So she'd be like, one day, her boss, my girl's always cold. So he bought her a hooded sweatshirt, a Patriots hooded sweatshirt. She came home wearing that, didn't make it through the doorway. She took that thing off. I put it right in my dumpster, right on the side of the house. She was like, "Did you see my sweatshirt?" I said, "Yup, it's right outside the dumpster. I already ordered you a Nike Dolphins one. You're all set."
Yeah, it's like Jess isn't a big, football fan, but she just roots for the Buffalo just because she don't even care to see if they win. But I got her to put on a Dolphins t-shirt that time, and man, everybody up in Buffalo razzed her so bad. And what is that trash on you? And she refused to put anything back on. She's like, and then the one game we went, and she's like, "Can I put a Bills stuff on?" I said, "Yeah, if you want to make it out of Miami alive, I would suggest that."
Well, you know what it is too. I seen some Dolphin fans before the playoffs started, like with stupid questions. Who do you root for? You don't root for nobody. My team's out. I ain't got a fan of none of them teams. I don't want to hear about who wins the playoff game. You watch it just for the general point of because we're sports fans. But there was people, should we root for Buffalo to beat Kansas City? Or listen, if you're a Dolphin fan, you ain't rooting for nobody. You root for
I
the
don't- I
Dolphins.
don't
When they're
root.
out, it's out. It's over. I don't have a
You know, I
no.
don't root for anybody, but I definitely want to see Kansas City lose and stuff. But I'm not gonna be
I
like.
don't have no interest. If the Dolphins are out, I'm out. I'm
I
already
mean, I
out.
just watch it just because I love
I'll
football.
watch.
Well, that's
But-
what I'm saying. You'll watch, but there was people that are because Saul know. I sent them shit. There's people that are Dolphin fans wearing Philly shit. Listen,
No way.
I live in
No way.
Massachusetts. Listen,
No,
I
you're
live in
not feeling
Massachusetts.
that, bro.
Ain't no way in hell
Yeah.
because I live in
Listen,
Massachusetts. The Patriots win. I'm wearing a
look,
Patriot hat and shirt.
we,
There ain't no fucking way.
I'll say this. I'll say this. I'm not gonna call no names out,
Nope,
but
I
I
ain't saying
know the
no names.
corporates and I look them up. And I
Yep,
ain't gonna say no names, but I've seen about 3, 4, or 5 Dolphin fans
yep,
that live in a Philadelphia area that was
wearing
wearing
Eagle shit.
Eagles jerseys. And
Nope, I ain't doing that.
No way.
Bro, I'm not doing that.
You
Not
couldn't
doing
pay
it.
me enough.
Listen, I don't give a damn what city wins it. If I live in that city, I'm still a Dolphin fan. If I lived in Texas, I live in Florida, I live in Michigan, I don't care where I live. My team didn't win the Super Bowl. I ain't wearing the team that won the Super Bowl because I live in that city. Hell no.
You couldn't pay me to put on another team's colors.
Nope. Not
Hell,
doing
I
it.
went to Baltimore when they
No.
won the Super Bowl back there. What was it, 2000 or whatever? Shit, I had my Marino jersey on down there walking around. They said, "What you got that trash on?" I said, "Hey, buddy, I'm a Dolphin
Listen,
fan. Play."
I was at my uncle Clarence, rest his soul, left the Dolphins when Saban came. He went to Baltimore. I went to that Super Bowl in New Orleans when the lights went out against San Francisco. And he said to me, "Yo, you want to wear a hell no." You didn't even let him finish the sentence. He
Nope.
said he was like, "You want to wear?" Nope, I'm not wearing no purple. I went to their camp when I used to go to the Dolphins camp in the summer. We used to take 2 weeks vacation. Me and my wife would always have the vacation the same time in August because when I worked at Titleist before I retired, we'd have the first 2 weeks of August off. So we go to Dolphins camp, 10 days in Florida. So she already had flown to Florida. I said, "Listen, I got to go to see my uncle in Baltimore. I'm going to go there 3 days and I'll meet you in Fort Lauderdale." So I went to Baltimore. I'm there, orange Dolphins, Reebok shirt, matching orange shorts, white Nikes, orange swoosh, bucket hat. Ray Lewis, Ed Reed come up. "Yo, y'all about 2,000 miles lost, buddy." And I said, "Yo, my uncle's a coach." He goes, "Who's your uncle?" I said, "Right there, CB, Clarence Brooks." He goes, "What?" He calls him, "Yo, CB, get this dude some Raven shit." Clarence shaking his head. He ain't gonna do it. He ain't gonna do it.
Nope.
He ain't doing it. Steve Bisciotti, their owner, come up. "Yo, you're lost, my friend." I said, "My uncle's a coach." He goes, "Well, we'll get you a Ravens t-shirt and hat." I was like, "That ain't working. I'm Dolphins.
Yeah,
Ain't happening."
I was at training camp for Baltimore there, and that's how I got it. I got one of
Owens
Ed Reed's
Mills.
gloves.
Yep. Owens
Got one of
Mills.
his
Yep.
gloves, and then a couple of the people for some, they're like, "He's a damn Dolphins fan," so Ed wouldn't give me the second glove. I had it, and then he took it back and gave it to a little
Nope.
kid beside me. But
Yep. I didn't wear no shit for the Dolphins. I'm a Rockets fan. I live in Boston. I ain't wearing no Celtic shit just because I live here. No way. Me and Saul were at Red Sox Yankees on a Friday night, and he's got on his Phillies. I got
had
my
Phillies
Braves
on.
on.
He had his Braves.
And all my boys
Yep.
all had Yankees shit on, and they're like, "Yo, why don't you wear Yankees?" I'm like, "Are you out your mind?" I said, "The only time I've ever put on
Never
a
that.
Yankees hat, the only time I ever put on the Yankees hat is when we went to a party. It was a hip hop party. You had to wear New York shit. And it was like, well, I had an LL Cool J fucking t-shirt and a Yankee hat. And I wore it for like 20 minutes and took that shit off. And my boy's like, "Where's your hat?" I'm like, right in the fucking car, because I ain't no Yankee fan. And I wore a Raiders hat and a West Side Connection shirt because it was a West Coast party. And my boy's like, "You're a Raiders fan?" I go, "I should fuck out your mind." I said, "This is West Coast hip hop, West Side Connection. Don't you know anything?" That's it.
when I get down to Florida, you're gonna see me repping Orioles stuff, and they're gonna be like, "Man, you're a little far away."
Nah,
Now,
shit. I
Florida's
remember
used to it.
going
There's
back in the day.
transplants from everywhere.
Yeah, you gotta like who you like. I remember going to Baltimore Orioles camp in Fort Lauderdale, spring training, way back in the day.
One thing I'm gonna be glad to get away from is these damn Steeler fans and them stupid ass terrible towels. I hate them son of a bitches. God,
Yeah.
every time you go to a game, it's all in your face, and it's like it's
It's
gonna
a
burn every one of them damn
lot
things.
The worst part is I got three brothers that are Steelers fans, so I couldn't get away from them. My two younger brothers, one's in Bakersfield, California, other one's in Dallas, and they're all that stupid Steelers shit.
The one
they
or
both
two is fine with the towels, but when you got everybody and their brother in this area waving their towels, and you go to a
Nah.
ball or anything, it's like Try to watch the damn game. Nobody wants to see your stupid, terrible towel.
I always used to tell my brother that's perfect for you guys. At the end of the game, you could cry into it.
That or I could wipe my ass with it when I went out of toilet paper. But I'm just hoping. I hate the Steelers so bad. I do not want
You
to
gotta
see.
face them.
I don't want to see Jalen Milroe go there and dominate. I'm scared of that.
I think the Steelers.
Yeah, Skylar Thompson is going to start against the Miami Dolphins.
Dude, you need to
I
go to
hope-
Hard
watch
Rock
they
Bet and throw like $5
and win the
down
damn
on that.
fucking.
Don't
Bro,
be
I might
surprised
just
that
fucking do that.
the
He might
Steelers are
get hurt within
crazy.
the first 5
Can you
plays.
imagine the odds? What that shit's going to be?
Hey, you know the funny thing is, all these stupid Dolphin fans. Remember that 2 years ago when he had that preseason game against Philly? Oh, he's better than Tua. He's this, he's this, and that. I was like,
years
come
ago.
on, man. Yeah,
Dude,
2 or
they
3
It
years
had to
ago.
be like
No.
Remember 5
And it
years
was-
ago,
it-
Reed
it-
Sinnett.
it-
Reed
it-
Sinnett, the truth.
Reed said it. Yeah, everybody
Oh,
losing
my
their minds
God.
over
Oh my
playing
God.
against the fifth
Losing
string.
their mind. And it
Losing their
made me so
minds.
disgusted. I was disgusted. because I even told Eagle fans, and they were cracking the fuck up. They're like, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yo, if you could listen to our fucking podcast, and this is way before we started our podcast. This was on the Fins tailgate, and when fucking people, I was like, you guys don't understand how hard it is to be a Dolphins fan sometimes. I love my team, and I'm gonna rep them to the day I die. But to hear some of the fucking fans gloat over this third string quarterback saying that they used to start over Tua. They say, "What do you mean?" I said, "You seen the preseason game, right?" They're like, "That game where everybody was sitting the fuck down in street clothes and they got some
Yep.
boys from around the corner and all that." I
That
said,
ain't gonna be
"Yeah."
on the
They said,
roster
"Bro."
any old way. Yep, guys that weren't gonna be on the Eagles roster any old way. They picked up the guy who was
Seriously.
selling peanuts in the freaking hallway, and they grabbed the freaking guy that had dropped his fucking cheese dog. They were picking up anybody. And I had people telling me, "Oh, that guy's nice. That guy's nice." I'm like, "Cuz there is no
Like,
team in the
bro.
NFL that puts in a program on the 4th preseason game. It's like a pickup game. Just don't nobody get hurt. Nobody's playing. Everybody's fighting for last spots and special teams and a punter and whatever. They were going like this guy was the second coming of Christ. I was like, so you're gonna go get your
It was
Skylar
a
Thompson
base
jersey at the
offense.
end of the night?
Speaking of punters,
Base
what's up with
offense
that? We
against a
signed a new
base
punter,
defense on
and
both
Bailey's
sides of
still on the
fucking ball.
roster.
Yeah, they'll probably release him though June 1st because of the money.
Yep.
You know the
Stenhouse
Dolphins
got a big
problem.
leg.
That's exactly
The
what happened.
Dolphins, yeah, the guy from Tennessee is pretty nice. West House or West
He got
Haven
hurt.
or some whatever. You know the
Reese
problem with the
Stenhouse.
Dolphins is
And he kicked.
our problem with our team is our special teams really was trash. And it took forever to like the special teams coach finally got fired. I thought he had a sex tape against somebody in the Dolphins organization because
We all did.
I mean,
know.
didn't know why this guy wasn't gone.
Heck,
I
our
said, does
special
he have a
team,
tape of somebody doing something?
Got
heck, our
lost in the
special
Diddy
team hasn't
parties.
been our special team hasn't been good since we had Rizzy,
Yep, and he ended up going to Denver.
right?
Denver's
You know,
got him and
the
Vance.
Dolphins' problem is we could be a really good team, but like I said, that whole finesse, want to be a track team, that mentality's got to go. I mean, as much as we hate to say it, Flores was tough and but he didn't really have the team. There was in the beginning phases. I mean, because you had Fitzpatrick and he wasn't too fond of Tua. He actually wanted Herbert.
Watson and Love.
Yeah.
No, he didn't want Herbert. He wanted Love.
Yeah. Well, I mean, whoever he wanted, he obviously didn't want Tua. So a lot of guys, that whole Patriot way is like Bill Belichick's the same way. He don't talk to nobody. He's more like he have a certain few that he really was cool with, and everybody else just do your job. They used to say that all the time. Do your job. Do your job.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody used to say, well, they only got Brady. Well, Brady don't play every position. Brady was taking low money so they can keep getting guys. And I mean, they weren't super overpaying. You look at, like my man said earlier, we'd be the champs of free agency. We overpaid. We overpaid Sue at the time, but we didn't have anything else around him. Then we had Mike Wallace, same thing. Then we had Brent Jones, and then we didn't pay Xavier Howard, so we made animosity among our own guys. Because I listened to. Did you see the deep dive last night when Xavier Howard was on there?
Not heard about it, though.
Yeah, he was talking about last night. He was talking about how, they asked him who his favorite coach while he was in Miami. He said Flores. And he said the reason why he liked Flores is because Flores never talked to him. He said he was like, do your job. And, he wasn't rah guy.
Well, he's also used to that because his parents were in the military and he's used to being in a military regime. That's why he liked it.
Yeah. And, the funny thing is we had a lot of prima donnas on our team that didn't react well to being yelled at and you ain't doing this right and you better do it this way. And it's weird.
That's why he's not a good head coach. That's why he's a good defensive coordinator. Period.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember too, the year that he was with New England when they won the Super Bowl against the Rams, he was like their linebackers coach. So he got like a big bump up to go from linebackers coach to the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Yeah, and you kind of figured it wasn't going to work. And then you had Gaze, who looked like he was smoking crack the whole night when he was in his press conference.
Before
you had taco video was great.
Then with Flores having that military background, he was only good at knowing how to discipline. He didn't know how to communicate with everything else. It was basically, he's good at discipline if you step out of line, and that's about it.
Felix, what the fuck, dude? Here.
And then we also had the old dude that looked like he worked at the mall, Joe Philbin.
The fucking skeleton.
He looked like a shoe salesman.
Yeah, that's what I said. He looked like he worked at the mall.
Al Bundy would have been better.
Joe Philbin. The worst coach we ever had, though, Cam Cameron.
Oh, my God. Dog shit.
I was at the game when they won that one game when Camarillo. I was at that game against the Ravens. The only win.
A minute to go or something, 30 seconds, yeah.
That was in overtime,
Dog shit.
Went 1-15.
I was like, are you kidding me? And then, what's funny? I was at the game where the Dolphins wore the orange uniforms. They beat New England on Monday night with Jim Bates was the interim coach. Mm-hmm. We were like 5-11 that year, but we beat New England. And I flew the morning of the game, went to the Monday night game and had to be back to be at work for 7 a.m. It was crazy. I walked in with my Dolphin shit right off the plane, flew up the highway, didn't even change, flew right up the highway, badged in with 2 minutes to go.
Nice.
And cats are looking at me. Why are you wearing your Dolphin shit? That was lucky. I said I was at the game. And this is back when they had the actual physical tickets, the paper tickets. I gave my man the ticket. He's looking at me. Damn, Russell, you're crazy. You're crazy. I'm like, hey, you like your team. You like your team. You'll do shit. See, we as fans, me, John, Saul, you, we ain't from the world of woulda, coulda, shoulda. We're from the world of we're gonna do it. If you're gonna do something, you don't talk about it. You do it.
Yep.
Like we were talking last show. You know how many people live here? And Saul met some of them. You know how many people that have lived here their whole lives and they're Dolphin fans who have never been to Foxborough, which is only 22 minutes from my house? And I was telling a guy that Saul knew through Facebook and he spoke with. This guy lived in my old hometown about 12 minutes from my house. And he was like, oh, you look like you're in New Bedford, my hometown. Saul says, I am. I'm buying seafood and blah, blah, blah. And the guy's like, what? And he goes, what you doing? You're from Philly. What you doing in town? He says, I'm in town with my brother and I'm going to the Patriots game tomorrow night. He's like, are you serious? He couldn't believe it. And now this guy's a quote unquote. This makes me laugh when people say this. I'm a diehard fan. Well, you're full of shit. Because if you live here and you're a diehard fan, you have an opportunity to see your team every single year play here. Because they're in the same division. They play here every year.
That's like the thing for me. Like I got a bunch of friends up here and people I know they're Dolphins fans, and they were surprised I had tickets, and they're always wanting to go. I'm like, hey, I will, just because it's your first game, you've never been there, I will give you a ticket to go down so you can experience it. And then when you go back again and you do well or something later or something, or they don't. It's like, man, you only live once. You get the opportunity.
The excuse that people always say, it's always one or two things. Oh, I didn't have the money, or the fans are mean. What? I don't care how mean somebody is. You can be mean all you want. Just don't put your hands on me.
I mean, it doesn't take so long to, you could do a 3-year plan and make it to where you can go, $5-10 a week or something's not difficult.
Or my favorite one, when I hear Dolphin fans say, oh, I'm going to go to pick a stadium. And I say, oh, why don't you go see them against New England? That's their main rival for like forever. For as long as I've lived, it's always been New England and Miami till now it's Miami and Buffalo. But, I mean, why wouldn't you want to go to see Miami against New England? You'd rather go see them at Cincinnati or at Cleveland or at pick anywhere. That's not a rival. Those are teams you can see any old year. But I want to see the place that pissed me off for the whole 30, 40 years existence, and that son of a bitch number 12. I want to be at that place. Because when me and Saul's been there, they haven't lost.
Right.
I told somebody online, they were bragging about going to all these places. I go, what's your record on the road? You haven't won a road game. I went to one road game. I won. How many you win? Oh, that was. I didn't ask you. Oh, that was. How many road games you been to that your team won? The Dolphins. None.
Yeah.
I went to one road game. I went to the New England game. Dolphins won the New England game. And we won that game with a third string type guy, Huntley. I said, we went on Sunday night, me and Saul with a bunch of my buddies. And me and Saul went and met them up there. And Dolphins won. Nobody bothered Saul. No one bothered me. We would dance in the end zone like it was a nightclub.
Right. People were taking pictures with us. We didn't even know them because they were Dolphin fans too.
Yep, at Foxborough. Meeting people don't even know who you are. It would be one thing if we were drinking, but we don't drink. So I was like, what the hell?
That was like me in Buffalo. I went up and talked and had random shots and beers with just Dolphins fans. It didn't matter who the hell they were. We took pictures, partied, had a good old time.
You know, another good story. Me and Saul went to Red Sox Yankees. I told Saul, well, you want to come up for Red Sox Yankees? We had planned it. I said, I'm going to get the tickets in February because that game sells out in like 8 minutes. I'm going to get us tickets. I'll get us for the June series. First night, Friday night. Saul and me go with my buddy that I used to work with at Titleist, Corey. We go up there. Shit looked like Independence Day when we're driving on the highway. The storm opened up. It poured, but when we got to the park, it turned out to be beautiful. So we had, we're eating at a restaurant. We're walking up and down Yawkey Way, wearing our shit, I told Saul, watch we're in the first inning. Watch what happens. First inning, fans are chanting, let's go Yankees at Fenway Park. You're in the Bronx, and you swore you in the Bronx. Saul's looking at me. He's like, wow, are you kidding me? And it was loud. It wasn't like a few. It was loud. Like you were at Fenway. Loud.
Oh, like,
and the park sold out. The park sold out. Not nobody fighting, nobody acting up, everybody having a great time. It's baseball. And I told Saul, see, these are the people like you run into, because Saul would say, Saul works with a guy from Massachusetts in Philly. I ain't never seen Red Sox. Are you serious? Saul showed on the pictures. He couldn't believe it.
Right. Hey, guys, before I got to jump off here in a minute, I need your guys' opinion. So I'm going to be probably going to get Ricky Williams' signature. So I have one mini helmet right now with Kirby, Webb, and OJ McDuffie signed on the mini helmet. Would you guys put Ricky Williams on that helmet, sign it, or would you get another one and put Ricky on?
Just get a single one just for him.
Yeah, I would get a single.
Yeah, if you can get a single, get a single. I mean, I know you're not ever selling them, but if you're going to leave them to the kids when you have that many signatures on them, they're not worth anything.
Yeah, you can't have everybody's name on it because it's not the same.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I was thinking. I was debating, and then that's what I was trying to tell him.
If you have a jersey, you get a jersey, have them sign a number, put it in a frame, and then leave it to your kids.
Yes, I just got it because that's April 5th, I think.
Yeah, this is the new one. Yeah, Chantilly's the same time GT is. GT is here in Jersey.
The problem is I don't know if I can get a helmet like that quick enough though to make it by the 5th.
You probably can. You go on Amazon.
Yeah, you can. You just have them overnight it.
You don't even need to. You got time.
You can go on Fanatics and get just a plain helmet and then just have it overnighted.
Check Amazon. We better prime it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll check. Yeah, I'll check Amazon and stuff. Just something I can get.
Something quick.
Because we're going down quick. It's a 2-hour drive down. Sign, get in the queue,
and
then
Marino
get back.
Doing Chantilly this year, or is it just Ricky?
It's just Ricky. I'm pretty sure, Dolphin guy.
Yeah, because Marino did Chantilly last year instead of doing GT. GT's in Edison. It's Zach, Tyreek, and Phillips this year. But there's like 150 other athletes. I think they got Mike Tyson and Holyfield coming in before Mayweather too.
Right. Is $75 a good deal to have him sign?
It's about right. It's about
Yeah,
price
that's
for him.
about average.
Yeah, that's about average. Yeah.
You'll always be able to buy something signed by somebody cheaper than getting something signed you want. Just remember that. Always.
Okay.
And he's pretty cool enough to where if it's a show, you can do like a quick lean-in photo, like while he's signing or right when he's done signing. Like some guys are kind of dicks. His handlers aren't that bad, and that show's run pretty good. You'll be able to like lean in real quick while he's signing. He'll do a picture with you, stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, I'm hoping I can get in quick enough with the queue with me and Jason and stuff, and then I got to make it back. Then I'm going to Pittsburgh for the Disturbed 25th anniversary.
I was going to say they're still around. Disturbed.
Oh yeah, it's Disturbed. It's Disturbed. 3 days grace. Dodgers. Nothing more. It's gonna be decent. I'm getting up for nosebleed tickets, but you can't pass that up for $50 to front row. We got tickets front row, the third 300 level. I'm like,
they're sick to their stomachs right now because you saw what happened in Chicago. They're from the Chicago area, and they burned all 6 of the Bulls Jordan era championship banners. The pyrotechnics from the stage went up and burned them all. They're sick to their stomachs right now.
Was that actually game worn jerseys?
No, the banners.
The banners. The championship banners, when they set the pyrotechnics off, it burned the bottom of the banners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
but
6.
they can be replaced though. But I mean, if
it's
you're
just
from
not
there,
the OGs, not the OG originals, but yeah, they're gonna be able to remake them. But
because they were made in that certain year and all that too. So I mean, I understand. Why would you not cover that up or take them down when you got these? Because you know the pirate like.
That's what they said.
From going forward,
like, dude, you know that we have this big stage with this big flame set. Like, hello.
Well, they have
start moving that stuff off there now. They ain't gonna be doing that no more after that.
There was this group, I forgot who they were. They came to Rhode Island. They did a show in like a club, and they did pyrotechnics and killed everybody in the club.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
recent.
I remember that.
That was
back in the 90s. Yeah,
yeah, in the 90s they came. They were a big band. Whoever they were.
90s, I remember that.
And it was in Rhode Island. And they burned the whole fucking building down, and people couldn't get out.
Oh my god!
Killed about 30, 40 of them. Yep, crazy.
But gentlemen, I got to jump off, y'all. Papa Paul, I don't know if you're there or not. If you're listening, winners, Johnny O, Tom, enjoy the cruise. Get us some good pictures. Winners, peace, love, fins up. Papa Paul, everybody, Russell.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to try to get on. Peace, love, fins up. I'm going to try to get on Sunday.
Yeah,
hey, Saul.
Start organizing.
Take care of yourself, Derek.
John, this is half
Take
of
care,
what
y'all.
Back.
I haven't even started yet.
Take it easy, brother.
I was thinking about you, Saul, earlier today because Ashley and Lou are out here.
Yeah.
Okay.
To the tournament.
Yeah, because they're in Rhode Island. Because the game, for the game tomorrow. I had spoken with them earlier today. They was like, Russell, where should I go? I said, go to Newport. You're right there.
Oh yeah,
right.
They went to Newport. They went to.
They do Mystic.
I don't know. They went to the Cliffs. Me and Saul did that when I told them go to the International Tennis Hall of Fame. So they had a great time. They said they're exhausted. They were at their hotel and they were having dinner. And Rick Pitino and the coaches were staying at the same hotel as them.
Oh my God!
Pitino.
Yeah. So Ashley was hyperventilated. Lou said, "I said, tell her just go over and ask him to take a picture."
Yeah, Pitino.
He graduated from St. John's. Tell him you're a grad and you want to take a picture. And he was saying that, they're going over the game plan. And I said, listen, they're playing Omaha. That's like playing St. Teresa School of the Blind. Come on, man.
Yeah, that should be all right. All right, fellas. I'm going to leave too. Everyone have a good
night. I am too.
Yeah, we're going to wrap it up tonight.
You all have a good night. Be safe on your cruise, you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate you.
Peace, love, and fins up, all.
Peace, love, fins up, guys.
Good night.
Saul, you should be watching AEW. It's on right now.
I'll watch it when